Okay guys, I'm going to give you a quick update and just a few ideas that I had. I've been planting, I don't know, it's like 15 years. I've been planting on and off. Had my successes, had my failures. I've tried all the systems, all the gardening tips I could find. Took all, everybody's ideas. I've had many failures. My first actual gardening started in a bucket. And then I went to the ground. And here I am 15 years later, and I went back to the buckets. Because the buckets, these plants were put in here when they were having a problem. I was like, well, they're having a problem. Let me put them in these buckets and let's see what happens. Let's put self-watering system, aeration system, and put some night crawlers in there, handful of night, or just a few night crawlers in each one. Add a float valve, and then have a reservoir. But you don't want to close on these plants, because I want to eat them. Then put a companion plant in there, which I did, except for this one. This one does not have a companion plant, which I might change. I might put a plant in there today, now that I think about it. Because I think they should have a companion. Because they exchange things in the soil that I'm not going to get into that you guys can research yourself. But these are dwarf. These 3 tomato plants are dwarf tomato plants that actually, let's go into the greenhouse. They were in the aquaponics, but they weren't growing good. If you look at them, there's a few of them here. They were in the little greenhouse in little pots. Then I stuck them in here. And you can see they don't like it much. They're getting long and stringy. Where when I stuck them in here, see that? That one's probably the fatter one. Wish I could throw that in the bucket, but if I had them in here, I would already have tomatoes. This one already has little tomatoes on it. And they were all started at the same time. I see that when I created this new ecosystem for the plants, energy-free, self-watering system that you can even put a screen over to protect from bugs. And you can put chains, scare animals away. And you can even put a piggy there. Isn't he cute? To scare the animals away. But look at the clusters on this. Look at them clusters. Perfect clusters. The birds are going to have a hard time getting in here. Yeah, they could get in right here. But I could put stuff around here to keep them out. And having the fence there, it's like a control. It's perfect control. It makes it stiff. I don't even have this one zip tied. But this one here is zip tied. So eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these a little bit smaller. Because these came out of the old garden. So they're kind of, I didn't want to recut them and all that crap. So you can actually build them so they're bigger. You can make your own, you could get a brand new fence and just wrap them. And you can make them widen at the top. Whatever, you can do whatever you want. You can even put a top on them if you want. Okay, this here is the perfect system. The water reservoir is about 2 inches. Overflow valve into little holes gives it oxygen, and then the worms turning the soil in there, which you throw a couple worms in there, and then they'll have babies and they'll just keep turning your soil, pooping and giving worm castings. In this plant, instead of sitting there watering a whole garden and using gallons and gallons and gallons of water, especially when it gets hot, Like we just went through a couple heat waves, and this is self-wicking bed here. So there's a water reservoir under there. This one works okay. You can see it's wet there. You see it does wick up. It's not as good as an ecosystem as that over there. And I had a problem with these plants that I got from the Mennonites. And I wonder if they got a disease. Or if it was really raining a lot and something happened. So they're probably coming out. If I could put them in a bucket, I would. Because I know they would come back, they would explode. And yeah, I would love to have more buckets. I don't have enough buckets. But to sit here, all these wicking beds here, I don't have to worry about watering when I have wicking beds. I still have to water my peas over here, but everything else is self-watering. It keeps the reservoir underground, and it keeps feeding the plant water. And you can see the difference between my plants and the wild plants. They're smaller. Unless they've been rooted really deep, they're smaller. Look at all them dandelions. They're edible. I will be eating some of them. A couple wild strawberries up. They're blue and they're still there. Cool. Nice flowers. I got some bees in there too. Oh, all the bees are dead. Anyways, usually I would have to use tons and tons of water. And I'd have to go to the greenhouse multiple times and water my plants in the summer and spend all that time. I don't even have to touch these. Only when I want to pick. That's it. The only time I have to mess with these is when I'm trying to get something off of them. This system is perfect. So I'm excited to tell people about it because, you know, gardening can be hard. Like, I've been doing it for 15 years, guys. Come on and off, trying the old traditional ways and reading stuff on it and hearing all these stupid ideas about fertilizing and there is an easier way, and I found it. And I can't say it's this. This is easier. And it's kind of cool, having the rocks. It's all right. But I want to put that bucket system in here. On the floor level, multiple buckets, having a self-watering system for that. And then I'm going to delete the top tube. Well, I might not delete it. What I might do is somehow connect it to the buckets. But I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. That could be a lot of work. So whatever. Next year I'm going to definitely do something different. I haven't decided. So if you guys want to find out, I guess you'll have to tune in next year when I change this whole thing again. But I'm still keeping the big tubes. It's just they're probably going up higher. So I'm going to put, this tube will probably go up another foot. This tube will probably go up to here, right about there. And this tube will go probably right about here. And then it's going to have the buckets all on the floor. So, and then there's going to be somehow the buckets are going to hook into this. Somehow. So I'm not going to make it too complicating and then have to put a ton of money in it. I'm only going to put a little bit of money in this. And I'm going to incorporate that bucket system in here and then maybe expand that system out there. Add like another, I'd like to add another dozen, maybe a couple dozen buckets like that. I could probably add a dozen right there. So that would be a lot of wicking buckets, self-watering wicking buckets. Perfect ecosystems. So that's it for now.